Hello, I'm Dale Holland. I'm hosting this video about Dick Legate, former HS-8 squadron mate. Dick has gone on to bigger and better things. He's now known as Pilot Extraordinary, and I'm going to show some video of how he attained that title. I first want to introduce you to him when he came over to Fayetteville in the spring of 2004 for lunch. Dick was giving me a show of the plane. Nice plane, and he flies acrobatics in this plane even. There's nothing he can't fly acrobatically. What can I say? He's just a fantastic pilot, probably one of the greatest pilots ever. He actually didn't fly with the Blue Angels, but he is an honorary Blue Angel. Now Dick's going to do something. He won't tell me exactly what, but he says, watch me when I take out of here. And I'm going to be watching him. What else can I say? Well, Dick, say me a word or two here now. It's good to see you.
I just appreciate you coming. I've sure enjoyed it. Listen, sure enough, now tell Mama, please come over. If sometime when you can, we'll talk.
Hey, look at that. Always the showman. Dick, you can't outdo him in any flying thing that you would ever try to do. What a fantastic pilot. This cruise was made after I left HS-8. I left in 1960 and went over to HU-1. There's Dick in Fayetteville, and Dick comes over here once or twice, and here's flight operations in the Sikorsky. I can identify some of these people, but not all of them. Some of them came to the squadron after I left in 1960 and went over to HU-1. They're still at Ring Field. Now see that guy's left hand there, the pilot? He's got his hand on the collective, and on the end of the collective is a motorcycle-like throttle that controls the RPM. The stick is called the cyclic, and it controls the forward and direction and sideways. And that was D.D. Comfort. I've got a better picture of him later. Here's Dick. Dick's talking to us. He says, "I've never met a woman I didn't like." Guys look awfully spiffy. There's Lilacs on the left. They look helicopter operations taking off. They've got the ship into the wind for a change. A lot of times when I was flying in HU-1, they wouldn't turn the ship into the wind for the helicopters. I used to land on that elevator with the HUP, and they'd take it down, shut it down on the hangar deck. These rotors are too big for that, I think. Some of these pictures, I didn't get a good look at Don Comfort. He was a friend of mine there in HS-8. I called him DD, Donald Dwayne Comfort. Hey, Donald Dwayne, look this way. There's Lilacs on the right. And there he is, Pilot Extraordinaire. I wanted to show you this picture in particular. This is SNB that most all of us there at HS-8 trained in before we went to the squadron. That's my friend Dexter there, my co-pilot. That's me there with my hand on a prop. Now, that was built in the 30s to start with, and we flew it down there. I never had any idea you could do anything but fly it straight and level, but Dick Legate knew better. He knew, being the acrobatic pilot he is, that you could fly this thing in acrobatics. And so that's how he became the Pilot Extraordinaire, by flying the SNB acrobatically. And I'm going to show you some pictures now of him flying in an air show. It's amazing. Well, here is Dick Legate flying the Beechcraft that we flew in training at Drake Field here in Fayetteville, Arkansas. This is just going to be a portion of the show. I can provide more tape or video if anybody wants to see it. But I want you to see Dick Legate flying the Beechcraft.
Okay, turn down a little bit. Turn down. Ladies and gentlemen, the plane you just saw take off. That's a Twin Beech.
That Dick Legate uses. Now I'll be announcing this and accompanied by another man here in the booth with me.
Designated as a C-18S upon its retirement from the military in 1947. Leave it on. Leave it up. Ladies and gentlemen, this plane never designed to do aerobatics. You're seeing it here today
as Dick Legate.
All the way across the big barrel roll. To right. Takes that big aircraft and rolls it all the way around. This is not easy to do. That is one big airplane.
As Dick pulls it across the top.
And completes the other half.
What a show by Dick Legate, pilot extraordinaire, honorary Blue Angel, getting ready to touch down here at Drake Field in Fayetteville, Arkansas. There it is, the aircraft that I thought was a lumbering, ugly duckling almost, but it's a beautiful plane when in the hands of Dick Legate. The Blue Angels awarded Dick this giant Navy wings and made him an honorary Blue Angel. If you happen to get on a 747 and notice that Dick is your pilot, you may be in for an extraordinary ride.